Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 3G Theater, where the magic of the silver screen meets the charm of Fallout. Broadcasting to you from the heart of Charleston, we're here to take you on a delightful journey. Now let's meet our host.
Well, this seems like a little bit of a problem. And we have this problem in real life. If you've ever had your eyes screwed completely out by a multi-trillion-dollar insurance company because they refuse to pay the claims, and that's how they make their money, is by screwing you out of every cent they can. Well, Fallout's kind of the same way. The insurance companies in the wasteland, they're not going to cover this. And for what cause? What is the cause of this problem? Well, it's Dirty's Plumbing. Yes. If you ever see this advertisement in the wasteland, do not call them. This was supposed to be a simple fix on a faucet. And now poor Cowan is living in these kind of conditions. This is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And Dirty ain't gonna do anything about it. It's unbelievable. So now you've got poor Cowan just moping around all depressed, not knowing what he's gonna do. And I understand. I mean, I really do. Just look at him. It's depressing seeing him walking around in this suit. He's got such a beautiful smile, and we don't even get to see it. And I can't imagine what that helmet's doing to his hair. Alright, let's get to the top 5. This is heartbreaking. Alright, so starting this off is Six Samurai 62. Now, this build, and like some others that we're going to see here in the near future, are extremely deceiving. It looks real simple, but the devil's in the details on these.
Already some good layering going on with the scaffolding up to the roofs. Those don't look like they're necessarily half walls, and then you've got a benches for stairs here. Those look really nice.
They were well lined up, too.
You can already see on the roof piece there, these are offset, and then you're going to see that here as well. Here's offset walls, so you've got multi-layering between the pavilion walls and then those rustic greenhouse walls too.
Yeah, great choice of roofs too to use as the floor. And this right here on the bottom right underneath the table there, all those mats. It's a budget hog, but it's worth it in this case.
Yeah, those are all dirty floor mats to look like one rug, and did a good job of lining them up. It
Yeah.
fooled me at first for sure.
Yeah, it looked
Kitchen
really
cabinets
good.
are nice.
It's just a budget killer when you do stuff like that, but sometimes sacrifices have to be made. I wouldn't have personally done that because of the budget, but it came out looking really nice.
It did.
I would love to see this camp in dark lighting too, because I see some really nice warm lights that I bet would really make some cool accents.
Well, and that's the hard part, There's, especially with the lighting, you kind of want to get your camp filmed in good light, that way everybody can see it, but occasionally maybe throw in a scene at the end or whatever, mix it in somewhere where it shows it at nighttime and you can see the actual lighting too.
Yeah, lighting's very difficult in this game because the lighting, let's just face it, it's crap.
Yeah.
They did it some improvements within the last year with the lighting, but
It's got a long way to go.
right, it shows that you took the time to sit there and focus on your lighting. Like whenever it's dark when I'm building, I am messing with lighting. I'll stop what I'm doing, I'll put my hammer down, and I'll go put some lights up and mess around with it, you know?
And I
Look at
thought
that
this,
suspension on the roof there.
yeah, I thought this was an interesting take on suspending it like that.
Yeah, it's different.
It's nice that he uses the conduit so that it actually hooks to the monorail.
Yeah, and he got those roofs so close to that monorail as well. And I see he's got the barrels there, kind of hiding the gap. It looks like, but overall, really nice done.
Well, and think about
Nicely
this,
done.
it's lined up directly with the roof too. So he had to have lined that up where you know, I didn't see the conduits floating between the monorails there. It was flush.
Yeah, it was a good job. Now, this next one, Hexapotent. Um, I really, I like the way this one looks. I don't normally like camps filmed with that real high color vibrance, and you know, that's just personal preference. But this one looks really good done like that.
There's a lot of little lighting with those mushroom lamps that you'll see, and
Yeah.
I believe there's some other shots. By the way, this is a great cinematic shot right here. Just really cool, especially with the
Yeah.
Skyline Valley tornado in the background there. And
Yeah, we were all
but
talking about that behind the scenes, how cool that looked.
yeah, right here, and you see those lamps inside of the bushes and everything. That looks really nice.
No, I love some of the scenes and everything. That nice slow draw on the camera makes it look really cinematic. Um, and that's one thing, you know, that it's not always important that you film in this crazy awesome freaking way or anything like that. But that slow camera movement like this, it allows us to actually see what the heck we're looking at. That fast movement and stuff, sometimes it's really hard to see.
Right. You have to pause the video.
But
I
we'll
like the
take
use.
the time to pause it and make sure we understand what we're seeing. You know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for
it
sure.
just, you know, it's something to keep in mind because you want people to be able to see. Um, so like when I do camp showcases, it is that slow style of filming and not some of the crazy crap like we did in our music video, you know. But the
There's so much going
scenes,
on here.
right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And what's amazing to me, and we were talking about this too, is that it's not like there's a ton of ridiculous merging or crazy witchcraft going on, but they've got multiple textures on the walls, like, you know, with the seaweed, you've got cobwebs, the wall itself, the ivy, that multi-layer. Then this is a perfect shot to show that. I mean, it adds that texture and depth, you know, it's really well done.
If anyone's worked with those cobwebs, you know those are a pain to place. So most likely, my guess is that the ones that are flush with the wall, he's blueprinted to get them to place because those things are annoying half
Yeah,
the
the one in
time.
the fireplace.
Yeah, it may be very possible. I mean, sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. But man, look at all the texture on the wall and everything. It really does look good. And I love that they've added those nets and stuff because we don't have, you know, like decorations to hang from the ceiling. At least not a whole heck of a lot of options. This is a pretty shot with the pots and pans hanging there in the background, and it's just very well done. Look at all the texture on the outside of that. Really impressive.
This outside scene is just really cool. The way that the building just looks so creepy from here. It's like a mystic horror vibe.
Now, this one is, I'm going to tell you that I think it's the most deceiving build that we got. Because from here, yeah, you've got the outline of the structure and stuff, but it doesn't look all that special. And looks are extremely deceiving once you get into the details on this thing. I did not
Already,
expect this.
yeah, look at so you've got your foundations placed, which do have underpinnings. TNG will appreciate that. And also look at the walls on the building to the right of this newsstand are offset from those foundations. So even just within that, there's already some things going on. But this newsstand scene is so simple but so effective.
This is the part that I like about the newsstand too. Right here. You got a little hidey hole in here that somebody's been living in. You know, they got their junk under that desk, and the desk they've got the sleeping bag, so they got a place to stay, and it doesn't look that special. You know, it doesn't stand out like, holy crap, look at me. But look at all of the stuff that he's added on here. So you've got the textures with the walls and everything. I want you to pay attention to around the building, things like that, because you're going to see a bunch of floor items like gas cans, and he's added these little piles of stuff to add that to the lore friendliness. Even in here, not a whole heck of a lot of decorating crap like that. And you'll see why, because this entire structure it's mainly double walled. You've got offset walls here. The windows.
This is a personal
Go
favorite
ahead.
trick using the responders sign. It's the back of it against that door, which looks exactly like the pre-existing doors in the games already. And then he's got we just passed it, but there was a fan with conduit and back of a stove, I believe. And there's just so many nice little merges that are working so dang well.
I normally don't do this, and I don't know if it's going to work in this program, but I'm going to go ahead and try and back that thing up a little. And just pause it right there. That way they can see. You've got cinder blocks blocking that window. That door over here's got that responder sign like Cowan was mentioning. When you come around the corner, look at the fan, the conduits. You've got the gas can down here. You've got this piece that's sticking through the wall. We believe it's a floor safe. It's just the devil's in the details when it comes to this stuff. And this is, we're just starting to scratch the surface on this.
Yeah, either the floor safe or I think that's the back of the appliance stove, not the usable one.
And
Yeah,
that's another
could
good
be.
possibility. Yeah. Very good possibility. But the structure, like right over here on the left, which is in front of us now, this is basically a foundation and a half wide. And that's how he's getting the different textures, like with that upper portion, he's got a half wall there. Well, that's actually two half walls, and one's overlapping the other. It was pretty mind-blowing on this one, because it looks so plain from a distance, but then as you get into it, there's just more and more and more.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw before here. There's paddock defense fences right there, inside next to the cat picture.
Yep. And
Just
he,
to
on
add
the
layering.
reverse side, we're about to see in a minute, he has the Pittsburgh sign, the Central sign, and I believe that middle one is the mess hall sign. So
Yeah,
Yep,
with
all
the
placed
bars.
backwards.
Yeah, with the bars. So he's doing the reverse sign trick.
this building, it melted my brain when I realized it, but he's using that concession stand. That's one of the, I believe that one's the Quantum, because it looks like a teal color.
Correct.
So he's using that concession stand, but with all the walls, everything that he's got covering it, I mean, we watched this thing a couple times before we even realized that that was the concession stand.
I gotta point out too, as you start to come in here, he only has one light, but what took a little bit of time for us to realize that it was that quantum concession stand is because that light already has a bluish tint to it. So I was just thinking, oh, the light's giving off that color. So that's a really useful, clever combination of looking at the color of the walls themselves and then using that light to accent it.
Well, and another one, I'm going to try to pause this again. That water collection system. So it starts off on the roof, and then you've got your conduit that comes down to the bathtub, that goes to a barrel, that goes to, that's that rain catcher. But I don't know what that square box is in the middle there. But the bottom of that's the rain catcher.
The
And
only
it
thing I
just,
can think of is that it's 2 floor safes merged into each other.
it might be,
But
I
there's
don't know.
also a tabletop on top. So
Yeah.
it's the lighting. You can't really tell unless it would be daytime. It's really hard to tell at night what that is. And with the lighting there, it's kind of scarce in that corner of the build. So it's hard to tell. I think a floor safe is in play there, but I'm not sure what's on top of it. On
Hats
top of
off
the
to
floor
you
safe.
for stumping us on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one blew my mind, man. Because when you first look at them and everything, you're getting that distant shot and everything, and I mean, it's not overly decorated or anything, and it's like, it looks good, but it's not mind bending or anything. But then when you get into the details that he's put into it, this is insane. This is really, really, really well done.
Yeah. It fits right into the universe.
Well, and right as you say that too, really smart location because if you looked at this build by itself without a pre-existing building next to it, I don't think it would have the same effect on us. But because he's expanded what's already here, it just works so much better too. So great choice of location, great placement on the camp. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, this one, I mean, it's very, very impressive. I was shocked. And then we have Cyber Jester 00. Look at the pathway coming into this place with those alien tables. Is that not freaking gorgeous? There's a lot of budget in that front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the plants sunk down.
It's
You could
really
see
pretty.
on each side of the Equinox sign, he floated jack-o'-lantern lights as well. So there's some other merges into the walls too.
Well, and this is another one that this is a high budget, usage because it's double walled. And Cowan, do you want to point out the countertop? I think that was you that pointed it out.
Yeah, so if you look at that countertop, there's a half wall placed, but it's not actually a half wall height. It's been sunk down so that it lines up with that counter. That means he's done some messing around with it, whether he did a breakable foundation or, you gotta merge one into the other, right? So he planned that ahead, and props to you for that because a lot of times when we build, it's one thing leads to the next, but in this case, he had to think about that ahead of time.
Look at that glass that's 3 walls thick to create that, the illusion of that sliding door. And I mean, that's high budget.
Yeah.
The architectural stuff, with really cool tricks like that, man, it tears through your budget because you're doubling everything.
He's got a bench floating instead. I thought that was a metal shelf at first, so that was really well done there.
Yeah, a lot of clever little things.
Using the enclave walls and the windows for like storm shutters there. And normally I don't like those walls, but in this case, even the doorways, the way they're wallpapered and doubled up like that, it makes sense for this build for the style of this build. It goes well.
Yep. On the tables on the left there, you can see that they're half merged into the walls too to create some walking space and give a little bit of a different shape to your decor.
Yeah, it's nicely done. And it's hard to do this crap, especially on a building this size. You know, this if you want something extremely densely packed, you got to keep it to as many or, few foundations as possible, as minimal as possible. And this thing's big. And it's still well done. I mean, especially look at all that budget that was in that front yard. I bet that makes Trav cry.
I like the conversation area in the back here on this patio where it's sunk down, around the fireplace there. And this front yard's just gorgeous.
Those
He has the
alien
palm
tables,
trees.
it works stupidly well. I can't believe that those work that good for walking stones. It's beautiful. So next up, we've got Stratoblaster, and this is another fantastic build. I mean, I feel like we almost had two advanced top fives this week. We had a lot of great submissions.
I
He
love
could
the
definitely,
go ahead.
I was saying Stratoblaster, you can definitely step it up to the advanced section in my opinion. This is really well done. You painted a great scene here. You have multiple buildings, and it's all really well brought together and cohesive.
It's pretty funny. I didn't notice. I thought it was the lighting just of being around the mire or something like that. I just saw you had the Mothman weather station and the way that you've got trees all around here. But that gives you consistent lighting working with weather stations. That was really smart. And the way that you've accented your lighting inside and around it, great job.
Well, we were talking about too, the use of the concrete defense wall inside, and then, you've got that chain link fence there. Well, right here, this scene. Um, it just looks really, really good, and then it's because of that multi-layering of things, it's very neat.
I love that trough in there with the plants too. That's a really nice merge.
I like this divider here. Even though you could see straight through it for whatever reason, it just brings another texture to it,
It's
I
another
like.
layer of depth,
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of merging in here.
Stratoblaster, Hexapotent. I've seen multiple builds of theirs, and both of you don't take this as an insult. You guys, you need to get the hell out of the intermediate because you guys are ready to step up to the big leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right there, and I know that as you guys improve, um, the both of you, man, it's going to be crazy some of the stuff you guys are putting out, and I can't wait to see it. Now, the moment you guys have all been waiting patiently for, and this was a very hard one. I'm telling you, it's like we had two advanced categories for the top five this week. In first place, we have Hexapotent. In second, Baker Boy 76. And I am honestly shocked that that one is as high as it is on the list because it looked so plain until we got into it. But that was a unanimous second place. So fantastic job on that one. In third, we have Stratoblaster. Fourth place, Cyber Jester 00. In fifth, Six Samurai 62. And we have two awesome honorable mentions, Vi and Punky Bluester. You guys everybody did fantastic. I mean, it really was like we had two advanced categories this week. Um, this one, the intermediate, though, it was a little bit of a pain in the butt to try and figure out because every time that we kept looking at stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, just when I threw the compilation together, Baker Boy, you were in the bottom. You were definitely on the bottom. And then once we got into the detail work and everything that you did, we kept seeing more and more and more and more. And this is the importance of, for you guys just to remember when you're filming this stuff. We need to be able to see all the detail work, because him showing his detail work, that literally, that's what got him the second place on that. Because if the video would have been different and we didn't get to see all that stuff, there's no way that we would have noticed that. It was a very discreet build. It was supposed to be lore friendly, and you nailed it. Well, my friends, I really appreciate you swinging by, checking this out, hanging out with us. Now do me a favor, hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm trying to hit that magic 1,000, and that way I can monetize this and get paid about $3 a month for the 40 hours a week I'm putting in. Please